Hey guys, how's it going? Andy Grossman here with Pew Pew Nation, and I got something different to show you guys today. I do a lot of tactical stuff and things like that, obviously, and unique stuff. Today we're going back in the relics, the antiques. So I had acquired two 1890-ish revolvers, five-shot break-top revolvers from an estate sale, actually, that I sold off the guns for these people. And these two guns were just trashed. I mean, they're from the 1800s, late 1800s, and they were just trash. So I gave the family $5 a piece for these things because they were scrapped. That's all they were. I decided I couldn't scrap them. I wanted to see what they were look like and how they shot back in their prime. So I sent the rarer of the two off to a company called Southwest Gunsmith Technologies out in New Mexico. Now, Rick out there at Southwest Gun Tech took this thing in, and he was excited about the project. He loves relics, he loves antiques, he wanted to do something with this thing. So I said, go ahead, do what you want to do to it. Let's see what this thing looks like when it's done. So this is what we came up with, and this is the rarer of the two guns. So this is a Forehand Arms 5-shot 32 caliber revolver. From all my research I've done, I've dated this thing back about 1890-ish. And then Rick took this thing over the top. This thing had a nickel finish on it. It was all peeling off. Thing was pitted. The hammer was broken. It was completely junk. This thing was complete garbage. I had him just go ahead and do whatever you want to do to it. It's got the original grips on it. It's the original frame, the original hammer, trigger. Every part on this thing is original. All the serial numbers match. He went ahead and he blued it. So he gave it a little bit of a unique finish for the time period and just did an amazing job. It's got the spun hammer on there, so he did the something a little unique on there. And then, as you guys can see, we did a poker theme is what he went with. He thought it fit the time period. I think it does too. He's got the gambler on the back there, so pretty cool, pretty unique. Little history about forehand arms, and the reason that I decided to do the forehand arms over the Smith & Wesson, this is what the forehand kind of looked like before. Obviously, everybody knows Smith & Wesson, right? Everybody knows the brand. Everybody knows Smith & Wesson. I wanted to go with the forehand arms because it was a little more rare. It's not something that you see very often. It wasn't around for a whole lot of time. Forehand Arms was actually Forehand and Wadesworth. It was formed in 1871 by Sullivan Forehand and Henry C. Wadesworth after the death of their father-in-law, Ethan Allen. So Ethan Allen, as most people know, was a famous firearms inventor. Later on, about 1890, and the company turned into Forehand Arms only. So once they turned into Forehand Arms, you had a period from 1890 to 1902 where they operated as Forehand Arms. This one I've dated at about 1890, only because of the fact that it's got a low serial number on it. It is stamped Forehand Arms with the patent dates on the top, so it's obviously a Forehand Arms, so it's 1890 to 1902. But the weird thing with this one is it actually has the Forehand and Wadesworth grips on it. So it's the FW grips. It's kind of hard to see there, but I'm sure you guys can see that. These are the original grips that came on this gun. This was not remanufactured grips or anything like that. This happened a lot back in those periods. Forehand and Wadesworth had a whole lot of grips made, and when the company switched over to Forehand Arms only, obviously they didn't want to just throw that money away, so they just kept using the grips. So they only used them, from what my research, from what I've been able to find, for a few years. So it's 1890 to 1892 probably is when this thing was manufactured. And I'm going more with the 1890-ish, right at the transition of the company, just because of the low serial number and looking at other stuff that I found online. So pretty cool. Forehand Arms obviously competed with Smith & Wesson, so I have one of each. I have the Smith & Wesson, I have the Forehand Arms. Forehand Arms was kind of like thousands of other cheaper revolvers out there at first glance, but they actually used more premium parts. They used better stuff. They were known as the premium brand. So if you had a Forehand Arms, you had it made. You had the best of the best pretty much back then. And it does show. I mean, you have these two guns right here. The Forehand Arms is definitely lighter weight than the Smith & Wesson. Obviously, the Smith is beat up. This is all original from around the same time period, 1800s, 1880s to 1899 probably. Very, very similar design, as you can see. The trigger's a little different on the Smith. Other than that, they literally are the exact same gun. I would say that the Forehand Arms, though, the hammer's a little nicer on it. The trigger is a little nicer. It just has more premium parts, and that's what they were known for. So Southwest Gun Tech took this thing a whole nother level. I didn't think it was going to look like this, and they knocked it out of the park on this gun. I highly recommend checking out Southwest Gunsmith Technologies online, so you can check them out at swguntech.com and see all the different restorations that they can do. Very, very good gunsmithing. This gun, like I said, was completely destroyed. This hammer wasn't even attached. The cylinder barely moved. Nothing would work on this thing. He test fired this thing. I have not shot it yet. I just got it in the mail back from those guys. But he did test fire it. He sent me a video of him test firing it. So I do know that this gun is operational. Definitely have to find some low powder 32 caliber rounds, because these were kind of designed for black powder pressures back in the day, and modern cartridges could cause some issues with this. So I do have to find some low power, low pressure cartridges to shoot out of this, but this thing is just beautiful. Doesn't even do it justice showing you guys on camera here. I can't wait to shoot it. I'll make sure I do another video when that happens. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the page. Like this video. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. Also, let me know if you guys want to see this one, the Smith & Wesson from about the same time period. If you guys want to see Southwest Gunsmith Technologies hook up this gun as well for a pretty much matching pair of 1880s revolvers. Be pretty cool to see, I think. So I'm thinking keep this one shiny. This one's black, blued, obviously. But let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.